Welcome to this Uncopyable Women in Business bonus fun fact episode. It's your chance to get to know each of my guests on a more personal level. I'm back with Linda Arcello-Earl. We just had a really fun, delightful, and interesting, it's not even a strong enough word, fascinating conversation, and that's episode 136. So if you haven't heard that full interview yet, be sure to tune into that. Linda is the manager of the band Foghat and married to Roger Earl, who is the only original founding member of the band. So take a slow ride and go check out Foghat. They've got a lot of new stuff going on. Linda, thanks for being up for this bonus episode. And I have 5 questions, same 5 questions I ask everyone on my podcast. And the first one is, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Mostly I wanted to travel. I wanted to be a traveler, I think. I just wanted to travel and see the world. I was just fascinating. I wanted to get into a plane. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see countries. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do. I don't think it was a real job, but that's what I wanted to do, travel.
But you found a lifestyle that fulfilled what that goal to travel. And you not only flew in planes, you've jumped out of planes. I think you've achieved that goal, which is it's inspiring. You set your mind to something, even though you didn't have it totally figured out, but it happened. So,
travel every weekend now.
So what is something that you want to do, but you haven't done yet?
I want to go to New Zealand and Australia. That's about the only places that I really want to go to. I want to go to New Zealand and Australia. So
I hear it's beautiful. It's a long flight. So good thing you don't mind being on planes.
That's right.
I haven't been.
Stop in Hawaii on the way.
There you go. That would help. What do you particularly like about yourself that has helped you on your path?
I'm not afraid of too much.
Fearless. That's a good.
Fearless, but I tell you, being a skydiver, somebody said that pretty aptly. If you can get yourself from 13,000 feet to the ground on a little piece of nylon, you can feel pretty confident. I didn't look at it that way when I started jumping, but I feel pretty confident about things.
So can you just give us an abbreviated version of what happened when you went to Paris your first time on the plane?
An abbreviated? Yeah, I was supposed to.
Whatever version you want, really, but you had an opportunity to go meet somebody you didn't know, a family you didn't know. What a story.
I was 18 years old and I just wanted to travel, and I had a friend that hung out with all of us, and he and his family were going to Tunisia and Paris and London, and he said, "You want to go?" one day, and I said, "Yeah." I never met his parents and I didn't know him that well, so I told my mother I wanted to go. I couldn't afford to go to Tunisia. I said, "I'll meet you in Paris." And I told my mother I wanted to go, and she was like, "What?" But I went.
She couldn't stop you. You said she wouldn't be able to stop you anyway.
She couldn't stop me. I didn't even have a hotel reservation. I was going to meet them under the Eiffel Tower at noon on, I think it was July 8th. I flew over on Air France. I landed. I took a bus. First time on an airplane, I took a bus to the Eiffel Tower. I sat under the Eiffel Tower at noon. They never showed up. I waited till midnight, thinking maybe it was midnight, and they didn't show up. I started crying, actually. I was pretty upset. And I went up to a gendarme. I didn't even have a hotel reservation. I said, "I need to go to a hotel." And he just put me in a cab, and they took me to a hotel on the other side of town near the Gare de Lyon, near the train station. So the next day I walked back to the Eiffel Tower, and I sat there again, thinking maybe I missed the day. They didn't show up again. And then I went over to Pont-Neuf and met all these hippies, and I ended up staying in Europe for almost 2 years. So
all by yourself, you headed out and did that. So that says a lot, really, right there. That just represents your spirit.
Well, back in 1969, you met other hippies and stuff. We were all kind of like-minded. So I met people. We hitchhiked. We went all over Europe, and I ended up in Amsterdam, and I ended up living in Amsterdam for about a year. Fun.
And then a funny epilogue to that story is, of course, back then we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have ways of contacting people. And you said you ran into that family or your connection 10 years later in the grocery store.
10 years later at the supermarket. When I was visiting my mother, I was in the supermarket and I see Roland, the guy I was supposed to at the end of the aisle and he says, "Is this the Eiffel Tower?" I said, "What happened? Where were you?" They got stuck in Tunisia and didn't get to Paris till a couple of days later. So how were we going to find each other? I didn't even have a reservation. We were supposed to go then from Paris to London and then and take the Queen Mary ship back to New York. So there was no way I could get in touch with them. I ended up selling my return ticket and staying. So 10 years later.
That is really something else. That's quite the coincidence that you were both in that same spot.
But you know what? I still am in touch with some friends that I made from back then. It was definitely a life-changing experience being on my own there for a couple of years, but I met some of the most incredible people. It was cool.
So let's talk about, is there anything about yourself that you would like to change?
My weight.
Really? The bane of all women, right?
I'm always on a diet.
You said, number one, your husband, Roger, is an excellent cook, although you said mostly healthy food, right? But you guys like to have wine and you like to enjoy life. And being on the road is really hard to eat healthy.
He is awful. He can eat more than anyone I ever met, and he never gains a freaking pound. And Rose, my assistant, and I, we just look at food and gain weight. But when he first started cooking, when we were first together, he'd put like a cup of olive oil and stuff. And I'd say, "Roger," he'd say, "Olive oil is really healthy." I said, "Not a cup, 2 tablespoons. I gain weight. I look at food and gain weight. You can eat more than anybody, any human I've ever met." And you don't, because he's a drummer. And he
burns a lot of calories too.
He never stops moving. It's funny. I used to count when we were first together, we'd sit in bed and watch TV. And he doesn't go more than 2 seconds without moving something. I could sit there like a lump and watch TV. He's moving a hand, a foot. He's always moving. He fidgets. Right?
You know what? I read a book. It's by a fitness guru years ago. His name is Covert Bailey. And he said that is true. Some people fidget and that does burn calories.
Right.
And I like to sit like a lump, like you said, I like to sit.
Right after I noted all this, Cosmopolitan magazine at the time, the cover said, "Want to lose weight? Increase your fidget factor." I'm like, oh shit. Sit next to a drummer.
Yeah.
But he's a great cook. But he's very aware of cooking. We eat pretty healthy. We're pretty organic and we eat pretty healthy. We're not kids and we have a very busy lifestyle.
Demanding.
And he's a drummer and he's 78 years old and he plays hard. So we have to stay healthy.
No sign of stopping. He said that and you said that. Why stop when you do something that you totally love?
Said he may retire when he's 95. He's slowed down and I'll be 91. So I don't see any sign of retiring. All my friends are retired. It's okay. I'm fine.
Okay. You know what? Retirement isn't all it's cracked up to be from what I've heard. If you love what you do, then why would you stop doing it? That's what I say.
No, I love what I do. I love it. And I have some really good people that work with us too. And I'm not afraid to delegate. That's the other thing. I told you back in 79, I got fired when I worked for Foghat, and I see now that I got fired or tour manager got fired. Rather than embrace what people can do. Like my assistant is great. My tour manager is great. They're terrific. I don't give a shit if people out on the road don't know who I am. To me, it speaks volumes for me to have good people out there. They don't have to know that it's me. As long as everything is working, they think Rose is great and Mike is great, and I'm fine with that. I have some really great people working. So I'm happy with that.
That's important because delegation is key and not everyone can let go of that. So that's a good thing.
And I tell people that, and I've talked to other people like that, and I've talked to other women and other people. I said, really, it's not all about you. It says a lot for you to have good people around you. They don't have to know that it's you behind it. As long as the whole organization is running well, and I'm thrilled to have them take care of stuff. The more I can delegate.
And it reminds me of a saying that I really like that, good leaders don't create followers, they create good leaders. So, you delegate, you believe in them, you let them take care of things.
And every business I've owned, and I've owned a few, once somebody shows me that they can do it, it's theirs. Show me that you can do it and it's being done. It's yours.
Yeah.
Then talk to me if you have a problem, if you want something, but I don't like to micromanage stuff either. I have other stuff to do. I think micromanaging is a big problem with a lot of people.
And you said that, I can't remember you said that on air, but your mom really believed in you and she didn't stop you. She couldn't stop you from going to Paris, say, but she sounds like she didn't try either. She knew, she trusted you. She believed in you. So.
And you know what? I put my mother through some shit.
I'm not surprised.
I put her through some shit and she was great. She passed away, 23 years ago. She had pancreatic cancer. And we did a lot of talking before she died. And I really put her through a lot, but she always believed in me. She never, no matter what I did, she always figured there was a reason for it. And there usually was.
Usually.
I was really lucky to have her as a mother. She was very cool.
She's awesome.
She was cool.
Very awesome. I'm sure she's looking down at you and very proud.
Yeah.
So last question, and you've traveled a lot, so this will be interesting to see. What is your favorite vacation spot?
Home.
Home. And you live in a very cool place, a houseboat.
We live on a houseboat on Setauket Harbor in New York. And we're right on the water. And I used to always want to travel and go places. Now my most exciting place to be is home. That's why I tell you, COVID wasn't so bad for Roger and I because we got to be home for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, yeah. Home is my favorite vacation spot, which is lucky.
I like that answer. Yes, that's a very good answer and sign of a well-lived life.
Yeah.
Linda, again, thank you so much for being on the podcast and for doing this bonus episode, Fun Facts About Linda Arcello-Earl. Please listen to the main episode 136. You'll be glad you did. And Linda, I appreciate you.
It was fun. It was really a lot of fun, Kay. It was great. I'm looking forward to meeting you and having you come to a show. You can bring your glass if you want.
That's right. We're having a glass of wine. It's 7:20 here and it's 10:20 there.
This is my mother's glass.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the only one left. I drink out of my mother's glass.
Oh, sweet. Be very careful. All right, Linda. Talk to you soon.
Take care. Thank you, Kay. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to this bonus fun fact episode. If you haven't heard the full episode, well, you need to. In fact, you should listen to all of them because they're all great. See you next time, and always remember to be uncopyable.